Hi everyone. Yesterday we did learn the first step of the accounting cycle, that is identifying the source. Correct? See, there we have to understand that any resource that we bring to our business should have a source. Without a source, no resource is coming to our business, right? So, if there is a resource, there should be a source of it also. So, that is why we are saying that the first step of accounting cycle is identifying the source. So, here we experienced that we have made the sources like two receipts against the introductory capital we received from two of our owners, right? So, identification of source is completed. The second step is journalizing. There we very easily understand this transaction is to be debited in which account and credited in which account, right? Then after completing journalizing, we have to record the transaction into the concerned ledger. There we have to understand what is a ledger. See, in accounting, ledger is having much importance because as an accountant, it is your responsibility and obligation to make ready available of the data with extreme transparency or understandability. Why I am telling like this? Because if someone is asking you, your boss is asking you to present the concerned ledger of a transaction, financial transaction, they are pointing out a particular financial transaction and get the ledger of the same. So you have to print out the same ledger and submit before him, right? So when he is going through the ledger or when he is reviewing the ledger, he will be very happy if you are keeping the ledger in a transparent way or understandable way. That is why for organizing systematically the transactions, in order to get the data availability at its extreme transparency or understandability level, ledger is very important. So we have to understand what is ledger. A ledger is the principal book or record where all financial transactions are classified and summarized by account. See, when you hear or when you are being asked a question like what is ledger, immediately in your mind the thought is to become what thought? That is ledger. What is the requirement of the ledger? Or for what purpose we are using ledger? Ledger we are creating to record the transaction, right? Record the transaction. So, ledger is a record of transaction. Ledger is the record of transaction. When someone is asking you what is ledger, immediately you have to respond like ledger is the record of transaction or book of recording. So you have to understand as an accountant what you are doing. You are identifying the source, journalizing, and recording. Basically, you have to record and make availability of all the data related to the financial transaction. That is what you have to do in the first step. So, recording, that is what we have to do. From that point, we can understand that recording, then what is ledger? Where do we record? We record in a ledger, right? We record in the concerned ledger, right? Then what is ledger? Ledger is the record of transaction. Ledger is the record of financial transaction. This is what you have to answer. So, as an accountant, your responsibility is to ensure the transparency or understandability. So, you have to create different ledgers according to the nature of the transaction. If you are doing a transaction that's cash transaction, see, you have to create the cash ledger itself. Because we cannot club the transactions into a single ledger. That is why we are telling you that we have to create different ledgers according to the nature of the transaction. Understand? According to the nature of the transaction. What kind of transaction is happened? Accordingly, we have to create ledger. Then here what we learn, what is ledger? Ledger is the record of financial transaction. A ledger is the record of financial transaction. Then we have to understand that how does this ledger help us? Or what is the purpose of creating a ledger? How does this ledger help us? We will understand that. See, a ledger helps to organize the financial transaction according to the nature of the transaction or according to its nature. Secondly, ledger show the balances of each account. Ledger show the balances of each account. So it shows the balances of each account. Third, it helps to prepare trial balance and financial statements. It helps to prepare trial balance and financial statements. The next one, it helps to error detection and financial analysis. So, you never ever think ledger is unimportant like that. Ledger is very important. As an accountant, it is our responsibility to keep all the data systematically. So, we have to systematically organize all the financial transactions. Then only we can get accurate data about the financial transaction, and it will help us to make financial statements or prepare financial statements, and accordingly the management can take decisions after reviewing your accurate financial statements. For ensuring the accuracy, we have to create different ledgers according to the nature of the transaction. So, what is ledger? A ledger is the record of financial transaction. Ledger is the record of financial transaction. This is what you have to say immediately. So what we learned? We have learned the first step of accounting cycle as identifying the source. Second, journalizing. Journalizing means what is journal? Then there should be a question. What is journal? Journal is the first book of entry, or journal is the book of original entry. So what is journal? Journal is the first book of entry, or journal is the journal is the book of original entry, or journal is the book of first entry. Understand? So what is journal? Journal is the first book of entry, or journal is the book of original entry. Understand? Then we are going for ledger. What is ledger? Ledger is the record of financial transactions. These things you have to understand very well, and you should be capable of answering these simple questions, because if you want to be a professional accountant, you know that what we are doing, what is that? What we are using, what's the purpose of it? Correct? This is what, see, that means if you are doing anything, it's a complete cycle, and what you are doing, how you are doing, what is the impact of it, these all things should be known by you. Then only you should become a professional accountant. Okay?